Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful turban with non-stretch fabric. Let's get started. To begin, I have pre-cut fabric and I'll just give you the dimensions of each. I have two long pieces that measure 40 inches length and 6 inches wide, and the smaller pieces measures 5 inches by 6 inches. And as you can see, I also have an interfacing. You could use any kind of fabric in between just for thickness. I also need my box of pins and also 2 strips of elastic, which are 21 inches long. And the final supply we need for this project is a safety pin. The first step is to place the two long pieces that we had right sides facing each other. And we are going to go ahead and use our pins to hold the sides down along the length. Our next step will be to sew the lengths from end to end. Be sure that you leave both openings, which is along the width, open. Notice that my allowance is half of an inch. The next thing I'm doing now is flipping the sides of this sewn piece. After flipping sides, you can go ahead and give it a good press, or you can just continue to create a space for your elastic band. It's time to create room for my elastic, and I'm just making sure that I'm creating room which is equal to the width of the elastic plus 1/4 of an inch. In this case, my elastic is 1/4 of an inch, so that plus another 1/4 will be half of an inch. And I'm going ahead to stitch on both sides, measuring half of an inch on both sides. I'm stitching along the length. Our next step is to hook the elastic band onto a safety pin and feed it through the space that we just created. After fitting in the elastic, try as much as possible to get most of the elastic into the fabric and only have a little that we are going to stitch on. The rational thing to do here is to go ahead and stitch right sides facing each other, but we are flipping sides this time, wrong sides facing each other, and this is only to ensure that our finishing looks much better. After stitching that through, you should have something that looks like this. Grab the smaller pieces that we had earlier that measured 5 by 6 inches, place the two African prints right sides facing each other, and your interfacing should follow right on top. Go ahead and sew this piece all around, leaving a space of about 3 inches that will help you flip sides. Be sure to tuck out the edges properly to obtain a nice and perfect square. When done, go ahead and top sew the opening on the piece. Create a small piece either out of the lining or out of the African print that measures 3 by 6 inches. Go ahead and stitch that along the length that will be used to hold the bow together. It's time for us to flip sides of this tiny piece. Little pieces like this can be very challenging to flip sides, so here I'm using my safety pin to help me flip the sides over and faster. When this piece is ready, set it aside, grab the circular piece and the square piece that we had earlier created. Be sure to use the smaller piece to cover the rough edge on the circular piece. Fold it evenly to create a bow. Further secure it with a thread and needle to ensure that it stays in place. Do not bother about how rough the stitches are, we'll go ahead to cover it up to obtain a perfect finish. Now that I'm done fastening it, I'm placing the little piece that we had sewn earlier. Be sure that the seam is facing upwards, and I'm just placing it around the center of the bow. I'm going ahead to sew it across to hold both sides together, and I'm making sure that I have enough room that will help me to flip it over. So this is what it looks like after sewing. Go ahead and cut off the excess fabric. Our final step is to flip this little piece over so that we have a very perfect finish. For full transparency, it does take a while to flip this over, so you need to be patient. Voila! Here's our turban. I hope you guys did enjoy this content. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe and share with your friends. Until next time, bye!